Guys, WeebOfWeebs here with my first video, and yeah, this is so what if Naruto had Shisui's eye, and this video is just to establish how Naruto has Shisui's eye, aka Shisui's Sharingan. To be specific, the one that Shisui gave to Itachi in canon Naruto after Danzo took Shisui's right eye, yeah. So yeah, let's get straight to the video, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, this what if starts when Naruto's 4. So he just turned 4. So people find him because it's the Cubic Festival and it's also his birthday. So people find him to give him a near-death experience, aka they're gonna beat him to death. No, not death, into death's doorstep. So yeah, Naruto's getting beaten up by the villagers. That's sad, but after I'm gonna say 2 hours, they finally stop and they scatter or get out, so no one finds them beating Naruto. So yeah, that happens. So I'm just gonna say it's like nighttime almost. So Naruto's been running away from them, but I'm just gonna say that they caught up on Naruto because he's only just 4. He doesn't like run that fast. So yeah, that happens. I'm just gonna say this time Hiruzen doesn't remember. I'm gonna say because he's old and doesn't remember that it's his birthday and he's probably gonna get beaten by the villagers. So that happens, and I'm just gonna say that he remembers when I'm gonna say an hour before, I don't know, an hour into Naruto's getting beaten, he remembers and sends specifically Shisui Uchiha to find him, I guess, and keep him safe, yes. And so yeah, that happens, and I'm just gonna say that they dragged him into an alley, and a very secluded one at that. I'm just gonna say that, and yeah, it takes Shisui just, I'm gonna say 10 minutes after Naruto's beating was finished. So yeah, he finds him on the ground, literally lying in his own pool of blood, and I'm just gonna say that the QB feels bad and he heals him. I mean, he does have like insane regeneration, but he heals him faster, and yeah, so that happens, and I'm gonna say in this timeline Minato seals the yin side of Kurama, or the Ninetales in Naruto, not the I hate humans, I'm not gonna help you, I'm gonna ruin your life Kurama in Naruto. So yeah, and Shisui checks if there's any like scars and open wounds in Naruto, and surprisingly, he's like very surprised there isn't. So I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna say a little bit. I'm gonna say an hour and 30 minutes into Naruto's beating, he just passed out, and I'm gonna say he's been talking to. I'm just gonna say maybe 10 minutes. Maybe yeah, 10 minutes. So 1 hour and 50 minutes after. No, one 10 minutes before Naruto stops getting beaten, and he's unconscious because of all the pain, and he's dragged into his mindscape, or yeah, I'm gonna say that he's dragged into his mindscape. So he talks to the Ninetales. First he wakes up in the sewer. He walks around, finds a cage, meets the Ninetales. They talk. Kurama says, why isn't he like scared of him or something? Maybe something like that. Because they inside remember that the good side of Kurama doesn't hate humans as much as the young side. So the Kurama was more sympathetic or something. I don't know. Yeah, let's just say that. And they talk. Naruto asks the Ninetales for his name, and the Ninetales is shocked, and I'm gonna say he does tell his name. So Naruto knows that Ninetales' name is Kurama. So yeah, that happens, and uh, I'm gonna say that in like canon, it takes about maybe a couple of seconds to talk to the Ninetales or just be in his mindscape for about let's say 10 minutes. I'm just gonna say in that 10 minutes in the outside world is 2 minutes, maybe 5. I don't know. I'm just gonna say 5 minutes in the mindscape. Kurama just wants to stall him a bit so he wakes up with no scars. I'm just gonna say it takes 10 minutes to, you know, heal him up, or maybe 20, yes, 20 minutes to fully heal him. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, that happens, and yeah, he wakes up, but he's like very tired and exhausted, and he sees Shisui just checking his body if there's any like wounds and nothing, any of that. I'm just gonna say that. Now he wakes up and he asks Shisui what he's doing. So yeah, that happens, and wait a second. So yeah, after Shisui asks what happened. He asks Naruto what happened. So Naruto will says that he got beaten up by the villagers, and he tells Shisui that he ended up in this place that the QB or the night he's gonna call him the Kurama. Naruto said that Kurama told me that he's seen his mindscape thing, and Shisui asks who's Kurama, and Naruto says it's the Ninetales' name, and I'm just gonna say Shisui is shocked, and Naruto's gonna say that he's actually a good person, fox to talk to, I guess, and Shisui is innocent, like, I wonder if it's all a bluff for Naruto, for the Ninetales to get out of the seal or something in the lines of that, like, yeah, and Shisui says, come on, let's go to the Hokage's office. So yeah, they do, and when they get there, Hiruzen sees Naruto with Shisui, and in the hour that Shisui is starting to look for Naruto, I'm gonna say that Hiruzen, or the third Hokage, gets kind of anxious or scared why Shisui is taking so long to find Naruto. So when Shisui actually gets back, he's relieved that Shisui found Naruto. So yeah, that happens, and Hiruzen says, well, what happened, and Shisui told Hiruzen that Naruto got beaten up by the villagers. I saw him in this very secluded alleyway. He was lying in his all full of blood, but to my surprise, that he didn't have any scar, any open wounds, any bruises like that on Naruto's body. So, and also I forgot to mention that Naruto also told Shisui that he was healed by the Ninetales, so he didn't have any bruises and scars. So yeah, that happened. We cut back to the Hiruzen's office, and Hiruzen's shocked, to say the least, and yeah, that happens. Hiruzen, wait, no, I'm just gonna say just before that, Hiruzen waves away the Anbu to get out of the room and places, a seal a soundproofing suit. I don't know, I forgot the name. And that happens, and everything just what he said just happens, And Hiruzen told Shisui to take Naruto to his apartment and get him to sleep, and that happens, and he shunshined out of there. Wait, no. Shunshin. What was it? Body flicker. I'm just gonna say it's body flicker. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say a minute after that, he arrives back and tells that, tells Hiruzen that Naruto told him that Ninetales killed him, and the Ninetales also told Naruto his name. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that Hiruzen's shocked, and he's kind of cautious about this, so he asks Shisui if he can maybe train Naruto to become a shinobi, and also to like keep watch on him if maybe he goes psycho or gets mad and releases the QB chakra or something. So yeah, that happens, and just and the next day, what time skip to the next day, and Naruto wakes up with hearing a knock on his door. He begrudgingly walks to the door and just open the door, and he says in a tired voice, "Who is it?" And yeah, he sees Shisui in front of his house, and he's saying, "Mr. Shisui, what you're doing here? What are you doing here?" So yeah, he's saying that, and Shisui told Naruto that Hiruzen wanted me. This is Shisui speaking, by the way. Hiruzen wanted me to train you to become a shinobi, something like that. And I'm gonna say that Naruto got excited, so that happens. And I'm just gonna say, they get training right ahead. They go into a deep forest, so no one would see them, and man, that happens, and if wait, yeah, yes, oh yeah, that happens. They train. I'm gonna say, just because Naruto's 4, he isn't that much of a prodigy yet, because I'm pretty sure Naruto in the canon is a prodigy. He doesn't have the materials to actually show that he's a prodigy, and yeah, whatever. It takes, I'm gonna say, a day for Naruto to master Shadow Clone Jutsu, and Shisui teaches that to Naruto because he knows that, or the Hiruzen told that Naruto has a lot of chakra because he's an Uzumaki. So yeah, that happens. It takes Naruto a day to make shadow clones, and when it finally does it, he makes, I'm gonna say, 100. So there's 101 Naruto's. There's 100 shadow clones in the original. And yeah, and they go home. Naruto sleeps. Yeah, that happens, and the next day, Shisui told Naruto to make 100 shadow clones and divide them into half. So, 50 of them will work on chakra control, and the other 50 will work on taijutsu stances. And after that, Shisui makes 2 shadow clones to go to each 50 Narutos to tell them what to do and stuff. So yeah, that happens. And in this timeline, the Ninetales isn't bothering with Naruto's chakra control, so he has better chakra control. I'm gonna say, or maybe Sakura's left. Yeah. Yeah, Sakura's level of chakra control. Yeah. So yeah, that happens, and the original Naruto, or the real one, is told by Shisui to uh, keep build up his muscles and stuff. That just repeats for, I'm gonna say, 2 months. So I'm gonna say that since Naruto's birthday is October 10, if I'm if I'm right. There's still no snow, so I'm gonna say 2 months. So October. So in December, Naruto is more buffer for a 4-year-old, but still buffer. So I'm gonna say that happens. He trains for 2 months. He's buffer. He has better chakra control, better than Sakura, because he has shadow clones and he has the materials to become a prodigy. And Naruto taijutsu taijutsu, taijutsu level is, I'm gonna say, high genin level. That's still pretty good for a 4-year-old, and yeah, that happens. The thing where Naruto saves Hinata from the bullies happens, and then I'm just gonna see that Naruto beats up the bullies, and he goes to Hinata to help him out, and that happens. Hinata tells Naruto thank you and all of that, and she asks him what his name is. He says Naruto Uzumaki, and he says bye, and then that happens. He goes to Shisui and keeps training more and more. And I'm gonna say in this timeline, Naruto isn't that dense too when it comes to love. I'm gonna say that Shisui is developing that sense of, you know, uh, mm, big brother, big brother kind of relationship with Naruto. So yeah, he kind of feels love, but he doesn't know what that feeling is because, well, he grew up in an orphan and everyone hated him, so he doesn't probably know what love feels like because he's 4. Well, he's 4, yeah. That happens. I'm gonna say fast forward to time skip to 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Naruto's been training. He wanted to honor Shisui or just become like Shisui through his hair. So in this timeline, Naruto is gonna look like Shisui, but instead of black eyes and black hair, it's gonna be blonde hair and blue eyes. Yeah, that happens. I'm gonna say in the time skip, Naruto learns that he has I'm gonna say three chakra natures. Yeah, wind, of course, wind, fire, and wind, fire, and water. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, wind, fire, water. He learns a bunch of. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say. He learns about a bunch of elemental ninjutsus, like I'm gonna say 25. I don't know. That happens. Yeah, and I'm gonna say that Naruto learns how to like do the body flicker as effective as Shisui. So in the future, he's gonna be called Naruto of the body flicker. Just a little spoiler right there. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna say Shisui says bye to Naruto, that because the academy is about to start, and Shisui already knows that the coup d'etat is being formed because yeah, I'm gonna say that yeah, the next day after Shisui said bye to Naruto is the start of the first day of the academy. So yeah, the ship will be Hinata, just in case people don't know. Yeah, the first day of the academy happens. I'm gonna say Sasuke, this one isn't that arrogant yet or more emo like yet, so Naruto introduces himself to the class as Misato Uzumaki, and I'm just gonna say this one, the teachers tell him to what his goal is. Just his goal, no dream, not dreams yet. His goal is to surpass his big brother Shisui, and this catches the attention of Sasuke. Yeah. Uh, this catches the attention of Sasuke. So because Uchiha, anything you say about Uchiha, Sasuke will will pay attention to you, you know. And yeah, that happens. I'm gonna say everything in the class isn't really that important, so you still get hate. He still gets hated by his classmates, even calling him a demon and all that. But yeah, that's still a thing. And I'm gonna say 2 weeks after that, the massacre happens. So I'm gonna say 1 week after that, Shisui dies. Just full of full of the academy is just small sparring sessions, and the first sparring session is with Naruto's sparring session is with, of course, Sasuke. Of course, Naruto wins because she's literally being trained by Shisui, the body flicker. I mean, Shisui also trained Itachi, so I'm just gonna say that Shisui is better than or stronger than Itachi. Yeah, and say what the 1 week ends. Uh, Danzo takes Shisui's right eye. You know, he uses Koto Amatsukami in that eye, so he's gonna be another 10 years after he can use the Koto Amatsukami, which is if I'm not mistaken, but it's by the War Arc or just the five Kage Summit. Yeah, that happens, and everything happens in canon. Yeah, well, when not really. The part of Shisui committing suicide, yes, that happens in canon, but this time instead of Shisui telling Itachi to take his eye and keep safe, he tells Itachi to give this eye to Naruto and give him the scroll. I'm just gonna say as a scroll of how to use the Sharingan. So he does that. He massacres the clan. I'm not gonna say just does it 2 weeks after. 1 week after Shisui dies. Yeah, so 2 weeks. 1 week, the massacre happens. Yeah, the massacre happens, and that's night. I'm gonna say that by that time, Naruto's already in his apartment trying to sleep, and yeah, what happens is everything happens in canon when Itachi uh Itachi puts Sasuke under the, what was it again? I forgot. The Tsukuyomi. Yeah, the Tsukuyomi. And yeah, that happens. And before this time, Itachi doesn't actually just leave like bolt out of there after he kills the clan. He goes to Naruto's house. And I'm just gonna say in that 2 year time skip, Itachi meets and no, she's Naruto meets Itachi a couple of times, and they spar with them. Maybe 10 times. I'm just gonna say that Itachi isn't around that much because he's Anbu. You know that, yeah, that happens. So after that, no, not after that. He calls Naruto and he wants to tell Naruto something. He says, I want to tell us something, Naruto. Yeah, that happens. Naruto's gonna say, oh hey Itachi, do you know where Shisui is? Yeah, he says that, and Itachi just boldly says he's dead, just like that, and Naruto's like shocked and kind of angry at the same time, and Itachi sees that Naruto's eye just flickered red for a second because yeah, he's angry, and I'm gonna say Naruto's more collective in this one because Chisui's collective. He's more laid back. He looks lifeless. His eyes look like he's lifeless, but pretty good-hearted person, and that happens. So he calms himself down, but he's still angry in the inside. So yeah, Naruto says to Itachi, who did it in like a monochrome voice. I don't know if that's right, but just like the serious voice kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, that happens, and Itachi tells Naruto that Danzo, just like that. I understand. He has like the angry face, but the calm voice, that type esque. So yeah, that happens, and wait, okay, Itachi tells Naruto that there was a coup d'état in the Uchiha clan, so Danzo took Chisui's eye, right eye. He's not gonna say that because he just says Danzo took his eye, and he just massacred the whole clan. And I'm gonna say Naruto understands that, so he knows the truth about the Uchiha massacre and why Itachi did it. So that's gonna come into play later in like a couple of parts, in the next couple of parts. So yeah, and Itachi says to Naruto that yeah, Itachi tells to Naruto that Shisui told him to give his eye to Naruto. If that makes sense. Yeah, that happens. So Naruto's like, why would Shisui do that? Naruto said, because he's like a big brother to you. He thinks of you as a little brother, you know. Probably that, something along those lines. And so yeah, Naruto, Itachi pulls Naruto's left eye out and just transplants Shisui's eye into Naruto's left eye socket. So yeah, that happens. I'm gonna say this one. Kurama actually heals the Naruto's eyes, that it's kind of like going to be like he can turn it off and turn it on. The Sharingan, yeah, that happens. And I'm just gonna say he's here for 2 minutes, just waiting for Naruto to open his eyes and see the Mangekyo, but instead he sees Naruto's blue eye, and he's kind of in shock, and he's like, I guess the QB was helping. Said Itachi, so Naruto says, yes. Me and him are actually on good terms as of now. Yeah, and he gives me his power time to time. Yeah, Naruto said, so Itachi said, how many tails can you handle? Naruto says 4, and after that you just go berserk. So yeah, that happens, and Itachi says, oh, by the way, here's a scroll for you to learn how to master the Sharingan. Yeah, and after that, after he gives Naruto the scroll, he leaves, and yeah, this is where I'm gonna end this one. Like and subscribe for the next part of this, hopefully, if you want to. Goodbye, I guess. Yeah, bye.